Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Die.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Die Podcast. I am your host of the Trap or Die Podcast, Mual. Not in here with the fellas, man. AJ and Dre's on the way. As always, since we wait, let's get the administrative items out of the way. First and foremost, Dre, I see you. Benz, I see you. J Tizzy, Monty, I see y'all. Everybody that's watching live, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. We are 60 away, 50 to 60 away from 3K subscribers on YouTube. So we slowly churning, but we getting there, you know. Anyway, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are new. Audio side, if you are listening, make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't done so already. If you haven't give us a rating or review, make sure you do that. It is free to show your support that way, and it takes 10 seconds to do it. All you gotta do is write 5 words. Molly Mall is the MFing man. That's all you got. That's all you gotta do. Or I am a huge Trap or Die fan. That's all you gotta do. Anyway, Commanders morning show is live tomorrow, 6 a.m. All 32 came. What's today? Thursday. Yesterday. If you haven't seen that, I asked the question. I don't think nobody in NFL sports media has asked in his entire career. And if you watched it, then you heard me ask the question. And I think I made a pretty good argument. If Jared Goff goes to and wins a Super Bowl with the Detroit Lions, is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? I felt really good asking that question. And I don't think nobody I don't think anybody's ever entertained that question before, but I think it's a real question that should be asked. He's only 30 years old. Keep that in mind. He's only 30. He got like 5-6 more years to go. So, yeah, man. I asked the question. I thought it was a pretty good conversation that we had. Anyway, they're doing good things in Detroit. We're worried about Washington right here, right? The Pro Bowlers just came out today, not right now, but came out earlier today on Thursday morning. I'm actually a little bit surprised that just 2 got in. Looking at those little early, I don't even know what they're called. The early votes or the early rankings, the charts or whatever. I would have thought it'd be at least 5 or 6 that got in. It looked like they had 10 or 11 on the board. They ended up having 11 alternates. So 2 ended up getting in. Jaden, Terry. Those 2 are definitely no surprise. But AJ just checked in for those. Okay, Jay Tizzy see something. He say he on the doorstep. All right. Hey.
Man, whose question was that?
That was
your own question?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we were talking about the playoff teams. I don't remember how we got to it.
Are we just trying to let anybody in the Hall of Fame?
No. But it was about Eli Manning. We were talking about Eli Manning. And we ended up straying away from Eli because they was my man's Nick was like, Eli shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. He ain't a Hall of Fame quarterback. And that same question applies to Jared Goff because people are going to think just like AJ. Jared Goff, what has Jared Goff done? But Jared Goff makes a strong case throughout his career that if he ends up winning on the highest level, you can't deny like the success he's had on two different organizations, especially one that really thought that he was the problem. And in a sense, they proved that they can win with Matt Stafford and another quarterback, but it's another organization that's still winning with him and was at the doorsteps of the Super Bowl just a year ago. And they looking like they have a chance to make it this year. So I really don't even get it. Like it's not an unfair question.
I mean, is Donovan McNabb a Hall of Famer?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, like, cause he was different at his time. He was a dual threat and like he was a dog. So I mean, but I don't think he did enough. Like him earling every single time, like when it was crunch time, bro. I think he earled a couple times. Obviously, the one in the Super Bowl was the biggest one. What did Mike Shanahan say? What was his problem, bro? His what type of endurance did he call it? He had like a sophisticated word for it.
I don't even remember. But I was more so focusing on Eagles McNabb.
Yeah, I know, but I was saying even then it was a problem, but we saw it firsthand here in Washington is where I was getting at. But I mean, Eagles McNabb was a dog, bro. He was.
Is Steve McNair in the Hall of Fame?
You said who?
Steve McNair.
I think he is. I'm looking it up. No.
Yeah,
he is in the College Football Hall of Fame and the Black College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't want to hear shit about no Jared Goff. If those two prominent guys ain't in the Hall of Fame, even Eli, I don't think Eli's a Hall of Famer. But
that's the point we was making though. Eli technically his career wise, he's not really a Hall of Famer, but like what his postseason career is compared to others, but also like he had success in the regular season, but like he really stands out in the postseason. And I think that's kind of the argument that people will make for him. Jared Goff. I think we're underestimating like his playoff career in Los Angeles was mixy, borderline mediocre. Actually not borderline, it was mediocre. But like what he's done in Detroit, I think is just different, bro. But I get it. Like I said, that's the reason why I asked it. It was literally meant because I know there's not gonna be people that agrees with it. Yeah. Like it's a tough question to ask, bro. But he's also 30, and that's the reason why I asked it. Like he's young, bro, and like right now people may not see it, but if he ends up going to 3 Super Bowls with Detroit, that's a hypothetical question, AJ. If he goes to 3 Super Bowls in Detroit, he wins 1. What's your answer then?
No.
let's get into the Commanders, bro.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Come on, bro. Like that's a blatant. That's you bullshitting me, bro. At that point,
I'm really not. Like when I think Hall of Fame, I'm not even thinking of like numbers per se. I'm thinking the greatest to ever play this position. So there's plenty of guys that I feel like should be in the Hall of Fame that may not have had the longevity of a career, but we know that they were one of the greatest that we've ever seen grace the football field. Guys such as like a Bob Sanders, a Sean Taylor, Sterling Sharp. There's several guys, you feel me? So I can't just be fixated on numbers, especially when the league is so different.
It's not just numbers though; it's success. He's winning.
Hey, I don't care how much you win. Like if
it ain't numbers or success,
it's an individual award, not a team award, or not even award accomplishment. Like Dan Marino's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, but he never won nothing. You feel me? That's just my argument, and I'm more than welcome to join you on one of your morning shows, and we can chop it up more.
What's up, Dre?
What's good, fellas? I don't know who y'all talking about right now, but AJ on one.
Hey, before what we talking about, maybe we all could join in the morning, one of these morning shows.
First off, y'all gotta get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Y'all ain't doing that.
I
ain't doing that.
Yeah,
I'll get up. I'll get up.
It wasn't a morning show. It was the All 32 Jones. So.
All 32, whatever. I'll get up. He said, Mual, question is Jared Goff a Hall of Famer?
No, I did not. That was not my question. That was not my question, bro. That was not my question.
I'm about to say, I know damn well.
No, I didn't. I said specifically. I said if Jared Goff makes it to another Super Bowl, with the Detroit Lions and he wins one, is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? That's what I asked. It's a conversation. Like, all right. There we go. Let's get into the show, bro. Commanders. One thing I was talking about early on. I don't have like a bit like I know Washington is trying to win this game against the Dallas Cowboys. I think Dan Quinn outright said it. Like the 6th seed is important. Joe Witt reiterated that today in his presser, talking about how important the 6th seed is for them to go out there and clinch that for them. If I start off with burning questions, I think it's more of a non on the field or non-Dallas centered question, and it's just honestly it was about the Pro Bowl. That's where I was getting into before you had got on, AJ. 2 people made the Pro Bowl: Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels, and just off the strength of like knowing it's just 2 that went in. Who do you think that if you do think that there was people that was left off that should have gotten in, that should have, not arguably, but definitely should have gotten in, who are those people for you? Because there was like 11 alternates.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, 2 prime takeaways would be Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner. Instead of being alternates, those guys should have been propelled as the individuals for outside linebacker and middle linebacker, inside linebacker, however they want to identify it. But yeah, those are my 2 definitive guys. Bobby Wagner is definitely commanding this defense, and Louvu's having a breakout season. But once again, it all boils down to the fans, a big portion of the voting. Yeah, I mean, you would love to get it based off incentives that are structured within your contract, but ultimately, I would love if no player from Washington was able to participate at any Pro Bowl games in Orlando, because that means you're playing in the Super Bowl.
I mean, we're not going to watch the game anyway, are we? So I mean,
no, I ain't watching this.
No, it's just about getting your bonus, and there's other intangibles that are tied into it depending on your status within the league.
Right. No, I mean, and I'm with you. Those were the 2 guys that immediately jumped out to me. But then again, I mean, I saw who made it over them, but I didn't do a deep dive to see, how much better our guys were than those guys. But I definitely thought Frankie Louvu had a chance. I mean, he's been disruptive all season. Then you got Bobby Wagner, who a lot of people thought he was coming to Washington washed, but he came up here and he's putting up one of the best seasons that any middle linebacker is putting up. I mean, when you look at his numbers, not even just his numbers, the metrics says that Bobby Wagner is having one of the top 3 seasons as a middle linebacker. I mean, I don't know how a lot of people feel about PFF. I know some people think it's a sham and it's not good, but PFF has Bobby Wagner ranked the top 3 linebacker in the league right now. So that's a guy I thought that could have possibly made it with Frankie Louvu. Offensively, I mean, again, not a surprise or anything, but I thought had a chance. I thought Tyler Biadasz had a good outside chance of making it at the center spot. Thought he had a pretty solid year on the offensive line. And then my last outside shot that I thought maybe could get a look was Zach Ertz. I mean, because Zach Ertz has put up pretty good numbers from the tight end spot this year. And, we just looking from a number standpoint.
Yeah, y'all all named some good ones. I think, what about Dante? Dante Fowler has 11.5 sacks.
See, I didn't think he was going to make it because he was more part-time this year, even though the numbers was damn good for a part-time edge rusher. But I just didn't think that he was going to make it just because we didn't see him do much outside of, he did have a Carolina game where he had to pick 6.
Hey, he had to pick 6, bro. But yeah, I mean, honestly, bro, at the end of the day, I think, 10.5 sacks, so not 11, but 10.5 sacks. And I'm sitting here I would have to actually look, but I think he's in the NFC, or just generally speaking, he's one of the, where does he rank? Maybe y'all know while I'm trying to find it. Where does he rank in sacks?
I don't know about the NFC. Leading the league in sacks,
but I was about to say, I think I looked at something that I didn't even see him in the top 5 last week or something.
I'm about to sort it out right now. So he has 10.5. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 6. He's top 10. He's top 10 in the NFL right now, and of course, a couple of those guys are. The top 3 are AFC guys. Van Ginkel is an NFC. He made the Pro Bowl. Grenard made the Pro Bowl. He has 11. So I guess that's all fair because those are the 2 people that's in front of him. And that's kind of where I was pointing to. I didn't know what those numbers look like for the people that was in front of him, but those are literally the 2 that's in front of him. Jared Verse is another guy that's up there. But I mean, to kind of move forward past that, Dante was one guy where I was like, all right, he had a solid season, and you don't necessarily have to be playing full time per se, as long as you're making an impact. And sacks typically get you in the Pro Bowl, especially if you making impact plays and splash plays like that. Y'all mentioned the other guys. I think Biadasz is one that definitely should have went in. I think that the change that he's had here, the leadership and just being able to take control of that offensive line was impressive. This was a unit who thought, where everybody thought they was a bottom 3 unit, bro. That's how bad it was going into the season. And granted, that doesn't really help to make a Pro Bowl case because people don't think like that. Everybody don't think like that when you think about the voting, I guess. But the proof is in the pudding when you think about a team that's statistically a top 5 passing. Top 5 offense, period. So I guess that's one, and I guess I'll leave it there. Like I said, y'all spoke on everybody else. There was another angle that I was thinking about, and I just lost my memory on it. I have a burning question because I'm not about to think about that.
My burning question. My burning question is, if it were up to you, would you play Jaden Daniels against the Dallas Cowboys and let Marcus Mariota start?
Oh yeah, I'm playing him. I'm playing him at least till halftime, and depends on what the score is at halftime. I think I actually said, what's today? Tuesday? Today's Thursday. I said it. I said it on Tuesday, I think, or maybe Sunday. After the game, just I'm that person that's depending on, first off, going till halftime, point blank period, because they want to secure that 6 seed. But if you're up 3 scores, sit them. If you have a commanding lead and you can afford to sit your key players, then you do it. But outside of that, nah, like I'm here. Like let them boys play. I wonder who else got incentives out there that's not Zach Ertz. You know what I'm saying? Let them hit them jumps, bro. Let them get that money, and let Jaden Daniels on that offensive side help them get that bread.
Hey, after listening to Dan Quinn and listening to Joe Witt, yeah, I'm playing them. I mean, because you got to follow the culture that these coaches are setting right now. And Dan Quinn said we are playing to win this game. Like we're not going in this with the Sean McVay mentality in the sense that he didn't say that, but Sean McVay sits out his starters in a game where they can clinch a certain seed. He doesn't care. He's sitting out his starters. But Dan Quinn, no, I'm playing my guys. Joe Witt, no, we are going to go out there and play to win. So, I mean, everyone else is going to fall in line, and you got to believe that Jaden Daniels is what he's going to want to play. And, if he's following what the coaches, it's all with the culture. Go out there, you're setting a tone. We aren't where some of those teams are, at. Like, I mean, I mentioned the Rams. Like, we haven't been where the Rams have gone yet. Like, we haven't been to those places yet. Rams have won a Super Bowl. We're trying to establish a certain culture here. And not only are you playing this last game in which you could view it as meaningless, but this is a division opponent. This is a division rival. This is a rival that's already beat you one time this year, in a game where you should have won that game. So, I get wanting to go out on a high note, go out there, play as a team, play hard. And they don't have to play a full game. I mean, halftime, Jaden Daniels, whatever, if they're up, a certain amount, they don't have to be up big. But if I feel like we have a good little comfortable lead, yeah, they can sit down after that. But you want to go out there, you want to establish the culture, you want to set the tone in this game, and you want to kind of go into the wild card game on a high note.
What do you say, AJ?
I mean, I think for me, I would let them play, but let's definitely try to go out there and put up some points early and give those guys opportunity to rest. I would hate to see Jaden Daniels playing in this game until the fourth quarter, but I feel like, Washington, hopefully they go up. Parsons is still supposed to play defensively, but offensively they were without a CeeDee Lamb, who was their main weapon. So hopefully they get off to a fast start, and Jaden Daniels in particular can rest for the rest of the game after they go up 21 or 28, whatever the case is.
Now, what's the word on? What you about to say?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say a burning question, but if you're going, where you going? Go ahead.
Nah, I was going to change the subject completely. So you go ahead and get the question.
All right. And my burning question, I don't know if you all was about to get into this later on or not, but it's been something on my mind today. I had to tweet about it. But do you all think that, are you worried about Cliff Kingsbury taking a potential head coaching job? From the standpoint, are you worried that Washington can have a drop off and you're worried about what's going to happen with Jaden Daniels, or are you all confident in what's to come after, if Cliff does take a job? Like, are you confident in what we can still do with Jaden Daniels and how they approach the offensive coordinator position?
I mean, I think you got to look at it from so many different ways, right? So take, for example, the Ron Rivera era. There was no one that was getting head coaching job interviews, whether it be positional coach or coordinators. So when you build out a talented staff, guys are possibly going to get poached to have newer jobs, whether that be in the collegiate ranks or professionally, as far as being a head coach, an OC, like a guy going from positional coach to OC, another positional coach to DC, whatever the case is. So that actually speaks volumes that individuals within your staff are even getting looks or being discussed as being possible head coaching candidates or offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators. So I think that is a beautiful thing, but the way you got to set up your staff is to make sure if one of those guys does get poached, because you're not trying to necessarily stop them from gaining opportunities and garnering that interest, that you already have an internal replacement. I think when you look at the offensive side of the ball, you got guys like Tavia Pritchard, Brian Johnson, Anthony Lynn, David Blau. He doesn't have like offensive play calling experience, but like the three guys that I just mentioned have been either a head coach or OC, collegiate level or professional level. Anthony Lynn actually was the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator and resigned after a year, which led to Ben Johnson being hired internally not being hired, but promoted from a positional coach to offensive coordinator. I just think that if something happens with Cliff, so be it. I think that there's options right within that staff already. Me personally, I would look at possibly giving Tabia Pritchard the opportunity or David Blau. I think you lean on the connection that they have.
You would go over Brian Johnson?
Yeah, definitely. And that's not to say that Brian Johnson can't do the job. I just think that everyone is raving about David Blau. I don't personally know him or whatever, but like there's things that he's already implementing and they're calling. Like the game-winning touchdown was David Blau's play. So this is a guy that was a backup quarterback and just recently retired or whatever to join this coaching staff. So he has that familiarity being in the locker room. He has that relationship, that rapport within that quarterback room. He also has a trust of a Cliff Kingsbury to even be able to suggest a play and they run it. And he's been doing that throughout the season. We've heard it several times being mentioned. I think that's a guy that you could easily, elevate internally. And Dan Quinn has had to go through it, whether it be with Kyle Shanahan, Steve Sarkisian, guys like that. But I just feel like for Cliff, he's still getting paid from the Arizona Cardinals until 2027 as a head coach. I think that him doing interviews and name being out there is a marketing ploy, PR ploy to help himself get an increased pay with the Commanders and be the highest offensive paid coordinator in the NFL to go alongside what he still owed from the Arizona Cardinals, which they won't stop paying him until he becomes a head coach. So it's a beautiful opportunity for Cliff. He signed a 3-year contract here. He could easily continue to get paid from Washington and Arizona and not have as much pressure. Always go back to this. Me and Mual paid close attention to the end season HBO Hard Knocks that they had of Cliff. That boy was stressed out as a head coach. You feel me? He took some time away from the game. He went to Philippines or Thailand. Now it seems like he even said it today in the presser because I listened to it. He said he's got his love back for the sport working with Dan Quinn. I don't think you just want to turn around and put yourself into a high pressure job because whatever opportunity that could come your way, NFL ranks as a head coach, you're going to be under immense pressure. No matter if you have a relationship with Caleb, whatever the case is, there's no good quality job at this moment that's worth leaving, especially when you're still getting paid from another place and an active check from where you are currently.
Yeah, AJ ain't leave no meat on the bone, bro. The nigga just said like 1,000 things, bro. I don't have anything. I don't have anything to say about Cliff Kingsbury, bro. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think the opportunity is here yet for him because of his situation, his circumstances, getting paid from Arizona, the opportunity and the insulation, like what's surrounding him in Washington. He has no reason to leave. I'll leave it there. Let's go ahead and get into
my bad.
Let's go ahead and get into some other things on this show, bro. You spoke about Cliff and his presser. I do want to let's talk about Joe Witt first, and then maybe circle back to Cliff, bro. Joe Witt spoke on. Please, they don't have it up here. God damn. They go there. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. Find this quote on Twitter. The Commanders didn't put their transcript of Joe Witt on their website yet. But one thing that I remember that they was discussing with Joe Witt mentioned some people who really stood out in the game against Atlanta, but also spoke on like the adjustments that he made. There's two things I want to talk about. They're separate topics. But one topic that he mentioned and we can talk about first is the run game. They asked him if he was concerned about the run game or surprised about the run game problems, and does he see like a fix or something like that? I may be misquoting the question, but I do know he was asked about, are you surprised that the run game is still having issues, or they're still having issues with the run game? He said he wasn't surprised, but he said it's annoying as hell or something like that. I wonder when he said it like that. I mean, clearly, like if you heard the pressure, because I did listen to it, but if you heard the pressure, he sounded pissed off. Not at the question, but like pissed off, like, bro, I'm not surprised, but like, damn, bro, like we really need to fix this shit. I don't know if I think he's pretty honest in that. And I was about to say, I don't know if I've ever seen like a coach just acknowledge the fact that, you know, we are having these problems. We're finding ways to mitigate the issue. We're finding ways to like put a Band-Aid on these problems. But at the same time, like he's acknowledging that the good and bad exist. Going into the playoffs, we've talked about the run game on the offensive side, but the defensive side, if you got an offense like the Buccaneers and the Rams, both of those guys they love to tote. Buccaneers are up and coming in terms of like their ability to stay on the field with the run game, but Bucky Irvin I think he got over 1,000 yards. They got Rashard Wright too, change the pace guy. But then we know about Kyron in LA. Those are your two options in the wild card at this point. If you win that 6 seed, you can't get off the field, bro. You got a problem. I'll leave it there, bro. So I don't want to. Let's have an open conversation about that. I'm not going to ask a question in particular.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, because Joe Witten knows what playoff football is. He said that. He said playoff football is coming and we can't stop the run. But to me, this, and I was sitting here wondering Sunday night, like, what is it about this run defense? Is it the personnel? Is it the scheme? I'm sitting up there trying to, think of all kinds of ways, like, why is this not working? Because this is a weekly conversation. Now, Joe Witt didn't throw anyone under the bus. He's not that type of guy. But to me, some of his frustration, you could see it alluding to, it's a personnel issue. Like, they asked him about the defensive line, and he's saying those guys, they were up and down, which means they're inconsistent, and that's been pretty much the theme. So it leads me to believe that he doesn't think he has the correct horses to kind of run what he wants to run. That's why you see him trying so many different things in games. Like, he's trying so many different actions. Like, he did a 3 defensive tackle front a lot of times in this past game, and even that wasn't working. Again, it's the inconsistencies on the defense at this point. And that's why, like I said, with me, I'm looking at, man, is it the personnel? Is it the coaching? And then, some people are saying it's a little bit of both, and that could be possibly true. But I do think that it's probably more of the personnel, because if you look at it, these guys haven't had a chance to get fully the guys that they want in here yet. A lot of the defense is a lot of holdovers on defense, or they were bringing guys over from Dallas, like the Fowlers, the Dorrance Armstrongs, those type of guys that they have familiarity working with. But these aren't necessarily guys like, that you would think of like stars or, potential game records or game changers. These are just guys that can help them implement what they want to implement. But at the same time, you need more horses. Like, you need, that's why the draft is going to be so interesting this year. The free agency is going to be so interesting, because you can go in a bunch of different directions. Like, initially going into this season, I never would have thought like interior defensive line would be a need, especially you think you got Deron Payne, you got John Allen, you got just drafted Johnny Newton, you have Fedarian Mathis, who's obviously now been waived. I thought that was one of the more strong suits of the team. But now you're looking at the team and it's like, man, is that one of the weakest spots? And it's not necessarily because these guys don't have talent, but I just don't think that they fit in certain spots of what you want to do. Like, I don't think that Deron Payne and John Allen could play at the same time on the field. I mean, they kind of one and the same, and I think it takes something from the run game, what you're trying to do. And teams know that now. Teams are attacking this defense when it comes to running. Like, I mean, and that's one of the things we saw in the first Dallas game. Like, Dallas ran one of the most simple game plans the first time we played them, and it was mainly just get Rico Dowdle the ball and put Cooper Rush into safe spots, and they were running the ball so well that Cooper Rush was never really challenged in that game, and he was able to just play safe, and to the point where they were able to hang around until they got the lead and they were able to beat it. So that's how they're looking at going at Washington now. They know what the weakness is. Now, how does Joe Witt kind of adjust to it with the horses that he has? Because obviously no one else is coming through that door at this point to save them. John Allen's back, but again, I don't know how much he changes this defense from the run defense standpoint. So now it's going to be interesting to see how Joe Witt kind of mitigates that, or he goes with that going into this wild card.
And to be clear, he said, "I'm not happy about it." I said, "Not surprised." I thought I remembered hearing him say something about not surprised, but he said he's not happy about it. Just to clear that up. But go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. are having flashbacks to what happened to them against the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs last year. The Packers were able to run all up and down them defensively, and I think that we'll see some adjustments happen. Maybe not this final week, but going into the playoffs, because either opponent is going to be solid at running the ball. You're talking about running the same concepts. The Rams, the Buccaneers, they share the same principles offensively. And Sean McVay and Leon Cohn, who's the offensive coordinator that comes from the McVay family tree of offensive gurus in a sense. So they're running outside zone and stuff like that. If they end up getting the 7th seed, they could play Minnesota or Detroit, both teams that like to run the ball. I noticed when I went back and watched the film that in the second half, to eliminate a lot of the outside zone, they moved Payne on the outside as DN. Because right now, the guys that are playing defensive end, Dorrance Armstrong, Fowler, and Farrell, they're not really doing the greatest job of setting the edge. But then even from an interior standpoint, Payne, Allen, Day, whoever, and Newton, they're struggling with taking on double teams. But now with Allen coming back into the fold, Joe Witt Jr. feels a bit more comfortable moving Payne to the outside, where he can set the edge and get more favorable matchups being one-on-one versus being at D tackle. So yeah, I don't think we'll really see like a full-on adjustment of such until the playoffs. But I think Joe Witt Jr. just realizes like this is the reality of what I'm having to deal with, and it's not going to get fixed on the fly. It's just guys got to continue to give effort, and then also I have to maybe neglect certain things that I want to do to protect us from being severely attacked in the running game. I mean, Bobby Wagner is filling up his holes, making some great reads. Of course, sometimes makes some mistakes. But, I mean, ultimately, when your D tackles and can't get off double teams and on the outside, your DNs aren't necessarily setting the edge, what more can you do? You got to get creative using a whole bunch of different bodies, from the Sheldon Days to the Holmes, the Johnny Newtons, moving Payne around, and even some of those guys I just mentioned, to create some type of gain on that defensive front line. So I think even with this particular game coming up, I don't expect us to see a lot of that on film. But I definitely think whoever they go against in the wild card, you'll definitely see a high implementation of guys being moved around to help set that edge. Because like I said, these teams that they could be facing are high outside zone running teams.
Yeah, I don't think they need to waste any time when they get to the postseason on their traditional front. I think they need to go into the game with whatever they know that they can trust, and immediately like prevent or take away a strength, of the opposing team, especially if it's LA. It's crazy that you're talking about taking. I mean, they love to run, but like Matt Stafford's still dangerous. But like if you take away that strength of like enforcing them being one dimensional, any team's gonna have a problem with that. And I think what that means, and when I say don't waste any time, it's like find a front that you believe in immediately. you had 17 games where you know that your interior defensive line is getting killed on doubles. Like, and when they find them one-on-ones, God bless them, because they do win. They don't win all the time, but like they win. But God bless them. Like, they need to take a page out of Grady Jarrett playbook. Grady Jarrett know how to split a double team. Like, he can be a disruptor. And I think for Washington, they just ain't got that yet. And I think if you can just maneuver around and find a way to fix up that front and not have to worry about making an adjustment to where you can hold an offense to under X amount of yards and below X amount of yards per carry in a second half, and have that throughout the whole game, it gives your chances a little bit better, or makes your chances a little bit better. Obviously, Marshawn's going to play a factor in that too, Marshawn Lattimore, and being able to tackle too. I think if there's one thing that hurts Washington sometimes, it's not like they're not a team that makes a ton of mistakes from a tackling standpoint. Like, they're physical, they strike. I like the fact that they have strikers on the second level and Frankie Louvu. They got two dogs in the secondary and Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin that's going to strike. When you got that second and third level support from that standpoint, and Mike Sammerstill, I'm sorry. Like the 5'9", 5'10" dude, like he hit your ass too. Like, I like that, but you just can't be inconsistent. Like, these are the moments where you just got to eliminate that. So I say all that to say, run support is going to be huge from all three levels in the playoffs, and they just got to find a way to eliminate those mistakes. All right, let's go ahead and get to the game. After this, after this word from Underdog Fantasy, aka me, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and get our predictions and get up out of here. As always, like y'all know, man, this Trap or Dive podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. It is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Which players are going off and which players are going to go ice cold. With over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, Underdog makes it fantasy. Underdog makes it fantasy. That's hilarious. Underdog Fantasy makes it fun and easy to cash in on all your favorite athletes' performances. With their pick'em game, you're going up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing high or low on player stats, such as passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and more. When AJ was talking, I was looking at the lines, the numbers, man. You know, we got 2 Saturday games, bro. Jamar Chase, you know, he got a little triple crown on the line, right? You know what I'm saying? They got him at 93.5 receiving yards, 26.5 longest reception against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I'm doing? I'm taking the receiving yards. I think he's gonna get a hundo. I'm going higher on his receiving yards. George Pickens, he up there too. He got 65 receiving yards. I mean, we seen what Cincinnati did with Marvin Mims on what, that was a Thursday night or Saturday night. Give me the high on George Pickens too. Give me them two on a play. See what I'm saying? That's easy money right there, if you ask me. Anyway, I'm doing the pick'ems this weekend. You should too. They got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think about Joe Burrow in that same game. You think about Jaden Daniels in the Washington game. I mean, shoot. Honestly, Joe Burrow ain't made the playoffs yet. So if you thinking about the playoffs, what's Jaden Daniels going to get on the road? Is he going to get higher than 50 yards rushing? I think he's going for triple digits. See what I'm saying? I think he's going to go higher than 60 yards if that was the number. Cook up some of your 5 entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoffs long, man, and create entries with all football picks or mix and match across your other favorite sports. So, again, download the app, sign up using promo code TRAPORDIVE and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. I repeat that, download the app. Use promo code TRAPORDIVE to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash once you deposit. You must be 18 years or older, 19 years or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 years or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Massachusetts and Arizona, and President State where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. More than Colorado for some games. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org. If you're in Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text Next Step to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. All right, fellas.
Hey, Mark, what is Bowie Banks talking about? When was I hating on Terry?
And Terry made the Pro Bowl. Dre, stop hating.
Man, they think everybody's hating, bro.
I love Terry. I don't know when I've ever hated on
Terry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
We got grown ass trolls in here, bro.
I think Bowie is probably, I don't know what he's talking about specifically, but the way he said Terry's a top 5 receiver, I'm sure that we said something along the lines of Terry being like a top 15 guy, and maybe he remembered that. Because I don't doubt, I know for a fact we didn't say he was top 5. I know that, and I know I don't think we said he was top 10 either. I know
damn
that,
sure ain't top 10. So
hey, we've had conversations of whether he's a number 1 receiver or not back in the past, but I don't remember anything recently that would allude to us hating on Terry.
Nah, I don't think nobody hating. I think honestly, bro, what we're seeing this. Think about it this way, and I'm not even. See, I hate that we're getting into this because it's going to sound like I'm going against them, but I just want to put things into perspective, bro. The man had 1 catch for 5 yards.
5 yards
against the Falcons. Now, great, the Falcons did a really good job. I mean, you only had 1 person on them for the most part. Like it was only like 2 or 3 plays because wasn't on them. But like, you don't have that with like Justin Jefferson. He'll get off. He'll find his ways to win. Jamar Chase, like. Washington just doesn't have that in Terry, and that's not a knock, right? That's just acknowledging what he is. I think the best thing for Terry this year that I love is that he's finally getting his just due from a statistical standpoint. Like you can see what he does when he has a competent quarterback and he has a consistent quarterback and he has an accurate quarterback, right? And I think that's what's putting him on the map more, and it just invokes some emotion out of people, like. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Just gotta control them things sometimes, boy. Just gotta control them, bro. I hear dog, but top 5 is a lot. Think about 20 receivers, shoot them off. You ain't even ranking them. Just shoot 20 receivers off that you think are really good, and then rank them and see where Terry fit. I don't think he's gonna be top 5, bro.
Top 5 of what? Oh my god!
All right, so here he said. He said. First off, a couple weeks ago, probably. I don't know. But he said he remembered the conversation. Y'all said Terry was a number 2 option. I think he's a 1B.
Number 2. and that's okay.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That's okay. But, definitely going to be a position of high interest of upgrading in the offseason. Like, yeah, it is what it is, man. Congratulations for him making the Pro Bowl. Him finally having a quarterback.
Yeah, first duo in 33 years, QB receiver duo to make the Pro Bowl too. So that's major. I mean, brother, the record setting in what's the word? Achievements that they're getting this year is crazy. Like Jaden got the rookie of the week again. He set the record. I mean, we knew he was gonna get that after that performance, bro.
So one thing left.
Yeah, man. So like Jaden. Hey, look, if there's one thing I'm gonna do, bro, I put out the clip of us doing the MVP thing. One thing I'm missing, I should have wrote the article on Hog Saving, but like, if they ain't gonna do it on the national side, bro, we need to do our job to make sure that somebody talk about it. And I'm gonna make sure I do my job. I damn sure dropped the ball not writing the article, but I need to do it. Yeah, he need to get some votes. And nobody wants to talk about him for whatever reason. Okay, the game. Should we just go ahead and get into our quick keys, I guess? I mean, obviously you mentioned AJ, Mike is still playing. I think the whole team who's healthy and available for Dallas is still playing. So it is what it is. I think obviously we know CD's out, but I mean Brandon Cooks is active. Wait, who's their tight end? I don't think the tight end's playing. I got the injury report right here. I'm tripping. Yeah, Jacob Ferguson. Is he on the injury list? He's not. Okay. So Jake is active then. Okay. So Jordan Lewis is full. Jalen Tolbert's full. Michael was limited. Mozzie Smith was limited. Eric Kendricks was full as well. So like for their side, the people who like the names The starters, the people who play a majority of the snaps who aren't on IR is probably getting some looks against Washington. They're going to try to finish the season strong in Dallas. Honestly, if we're trying to clinch the 6th seed, this ain't no sweet money. So how does Washington get this dub? Y'all know where I'm gonna go, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to y'all.
Yeah, I mean, for them to get the win, man, I think they simply got to keep the ball in Jaden Daniels' hands, and let him be in control of the offense. We still haven't seen the that's vibration. Maul thought I pooed it.
You thought you did it last time too. Yes.
Yeah. but I think the running game hasn't been efficient. I don't expect Austin Eckler to play this weekend, rightfully so.
Oh, my bad. He was full too. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah,
full in practice.
So I hope he doesn't play. But yeah, I would just spread, like I said, man, try to put up some points as soon as possible to get Jaden Daniels out of the game. Like, and everybody else can play. Terry McLaurin can play, whoever, B-Rob, they can all play, but just get Jaden out the game as soon as possible. Let Marcus Mariota get some reps in. And I think the easiest way to do that is to attack them in the passing game. I just don't see them being efficient in the run game. Michael Parsons is still going to play his hardest, even though, Cabo is going to be 24, 40 hours away after Sunday's game. I just think that you need to just get out there and just kill them and go into the playoffs with that mentality of knowing you got this dog at quarterback and you get to rest some of your guys and prepare for either your Saturday, Sunday, or Monday game, whatever the case is, as we won't know that officially until who's the Sunday night game is Minnesota and
Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we won't. I don't think we'll know the full schedule until about 11:30 p.m. on Sunday. But yeah, that's my whole objective with this game is just try to get as many points as possible up and just stop them defensively, which I think should be an easier task in comparison to the last time they played. No CeeDee Lamb. Cooper Rush has been having some down games. They're talking about possibly playing Trey Lance. Yeah, just go out there, put some points on the board, man, and get your quarterback out, especially if you're going to be relying on B-Rob pass blocking.
Yeah, you just got – I mean, they got to come out with the aggressive approach to this game. I mean, if you're going to play your starters, especially with the mentality, you have to come out and play this game like you would play any other game. Like you come out, you let your superstar play. If Jaden Daniels is playing, Jaden Daniels is going out there. You're putting him in positions where he's normally in strength positions. You put the ball in his hands, you let him pass. I don't mind the design runs in this game. I mean, as long as he plays, you got to play him like you would normally play him. Again, you can't play scared. This is another chance for a revenge game. This is the second revenge game of the season. We're 1-0 in those games. The Eagles, we got them the last time. So now it's the Cowboys. Like I said, again, and Cowboys is a team you expected to beat the first time. So you kind of, and as Maul alluded to, this is not going to be an easy or sweet game, as we like to call it. Like we know Dallas is going to probably come out there. They're going to want to spoil something for us. They can't spoil a playoff game for us, but they can spoil some seeding for us. So they're going to come out there with a game plan similar to the game plan they had last time with Cooper Rush. They're going to probably try to play it safe, which is where our run defense comes into play. Like I would personally play Dallas more to the run than I would play them towards the pass. I mean, because I don't think that Cooper Rush is a big threat in the pass game. Now, he can get you when he's feeling comfortable, when he's feeling safe. He can hit the short throws and stuff. No, I'm loading up the box, kind of like you did against Atlanta in the second half, like you did against Philly in the second half, and I'm taking that option away from Dallas. I'm taking the safe options away from Cooper Rush. If I'm going to go out there and I'm saying I want to beat Dallas and I want to beat them good, I'm going to make them beat us by Cooper Rush has to make big plays in this game. Like, I haven't seen Cooper Rush do that consistently for Dallas to put them in winning positions. Like they've been pretty decent over this stretch. Outside of the Eagles game, they were playing everybody pretty tough. But again, I haven't seen Cooper Rush making the huge, big plays consistently to do that for Dallas. I've seen Dallas set up Cooper Rush in good positions by handing the ball off to Rico Dowdle, even Ezekiel Elliott before they cut him. So again, I'm taking that option away from him. I don't want him to feel safe. I don't want him to feel comfortable at any point in this game. And I want to get my quarterback out of the game as soon as possible, as AJ says. Like, offense, we're playing aggressive, and on defense, we're taking away Dallas' best stuff, which is the safe stuff.
Who mentioned it in the chat? Jay Tizzy said Terry needs 1 touchdown to break the franchise record for receiving touchdowns. I think Cliff made a good point in this presser at the last 3 weeks. He said the last 3 weeks. I mean, I guess it was like a month. But like the last month of football for them has been not good. It's been pretty ugly. That's me putting words in his mouth, the ugly part. But he acknowledged that the last 3 weeks have been just not good enough. And I think for them going into this game, I think they need to rely on their strength. I think that they need to hone in what they do good and make sure that they go into the postseason like firing on all cylinders. I mean, honestly, bro, you got to find a way to get the ground game going. My approach is actually, I was just talking shit earlier. My approach is like, you do have to like keep the ball in Jaden's hands as much time as possible. Open up the defense and then supplement, Jaden with the run game. But you got to find a way to get these guys to moving these defenders off the ball. And like stop. I'm not even going down that route because I'm gonna get frustrated. But you got to find a way to get these guys off the ball, bro. You got to execute. And I think going against Dallas is a soft landing spot to when you get ready to the playoffs. I'm not saying that they some shit. Like they're very physical. They can be attacking, but at the same time, if you watch them against Philly, it was just a matter of time until like they just threw in the towel. And I think Washington doesn't have a Saquon, but if you can find a way to get in front of them, score the points, right, and let that morale hit them, it's like, all right, let's go ahead and get ready for Cancun. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and hit the, I'm ready to hit the streets. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is for them. Get up early, but get a ground game going to the point where like your running backs are able to take off. Because like I said, if there's one thing that's important, bro, is like Jaden, do your thing, be accurate, but find a way to have a healthy balance. And I think that's what was so successful early on, being able to run the football, being able to establish a ground game, but also knowing that you have a quarterback who isn't limited and he can make all the throws, he can make all the reads, and he can make calls at the line and checks that can keep your offense ahead of the sticks. Obviously, we're talking in the sense of like we don't know what Austin Eckler is going to do right now. Things are healthy change in pace, but at the same time, against the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think you need him. Just don't get off to that awkward, slow start that you did in that first game, bro. Like that was terrible, and it was honestly embarrassing. Like if you're a player, I'm sure that was pretty embarrassing for you to sit there and like throw up a dud like that after you didn't block a couple kicks, but you missed the field goal, like all of that stuff in the first half, bro. So that's my thing, bro. Is use Jaden as much as you can, but at the same time, when that offense opens up the defense, bro, like you got to find a way to get this ground game going and execute in that aspect. Find what you do best, run your counters, run your traps, but get these guys going, bro. Like that ground game, I can't like reiterate it enough. It's super important. It really is.
Do you get that ground game going over? I mean, do you force it to happen? Is my question. And you're right, because we do need a running game. We need some semblance of a running game. My only question is, way? And the way it, because a lot of people are saying, you run the ball against this team and you'll have success. But Washington hasn't been having that success for whatever reason. I don't know why, versus when you got the quarterback and Jaden Daniels, when you got the ball in his hand and he's making decisions, that seems like your offense's strong point. So would you kind of go away from that a little bit, Jaden Daniels and the offensive strong point, to try to get the run game going in this type of game? I mean, if you're going to do that, this probably is the game to do that. I mean, this is a game that doesn't have high stakes or anything.
I don't like forcing is one thing. I don't think you have to force it. And I think with Cliff and even Dan says it in his pressers a lot. I mean, he hasn't said it recently, but he said it in his pressers a lot that I forgot the number, bro. But it's like a balance. Like they always shoot for like that actual number. Like if you ran this many times, if you thrown this many times, but like you're successful when you can establish the ground game and run this amount of times, and have this amount of passes as well. I just forgot the number. So if y'all in the chat remember the numbers that he actually said in his presser, but like it's a certain number that they try to reach. It's a quota that they try to reach per game, but it determines or like kind of signifies like how much success they're having in the game offensively. So when you ask about forcing, I wouldn't say you have to force it, but like just understand like exactly what you stand on. And I think that ultimately should be the goal. Whatever that number is, I will have to try and find it. But like, just stand on that and understand like that's going to be.
I think it was either 25 or 30. It was
25
like
to 30 carries.
Like 25 to 30 carries was a productive day.
Okay.
Like it was something along that line. It was early in the season. It was said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was early in the season. And honestly, to this point, like they run that many times. They still run that many times. They haven't run that many times with their running backs because Jaden been taking over, but they're still technically reaching that number. So that's where I mean, like I wouldn't say force, but like just stand by exactly what you deem as success. Try to get to those numbers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was high speed. You're right. It was a combined like passes and rushes 55.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
yeah, I mean, I think it would be it should be not even a close game. Like I said, CD's not playing. These guys are ready to go hit the streets. They ready to go on vacation, get away from all these things happening. Mike McCarthy is coaching his last game as a Dallas Cowboy as of now because that would be the last game under his contract. His contract expires after Sunday. So yeah, I mean, I just think like them boys is ready to disconnect. And if you go out there and you can't be productive as an offense, then we got an issue going into next week's playoff game.
All right. Everybody in the chat, scores, predictions, MVP. I try to look for like the over under numbers, but I guess given the circumstances, they ain't got shit up there, so we can't even do no over.
Probably because they don't know who playing. That's why.
Yeah. So it's like it is what it is, bro. So we'll get into our score predictions, MVPs. I see Amani said his. We'll get into them after we talk about it over here, fellas. Who want to take the first stab at it?
I'll do it. I think.
I see the MVP, Amani. Okay, all right.
Nice.
I think Washington wins the game 34-13. Of course, the unanimous MVP choice on Trap or Dive, Jaden Daniels.
Okay. I'll say 30-14 Commanders. And I don't want to say Jaden Daniels MVP because I don't know how long he's going to play in this game. I mean, he could be taken out pretty early, but I will say we will get Jaden Daniels smiling a lot in the third quarter on the sideline. I do think that's going to happen. But for Amani's sake, and Amani's my boy, man, I'm going with him, man. I think C-Rod could be the MVP of this game if he gets a lot of playing time and they want to sit some of the starters out, maybe give C-Rod an extended look. Maybe he gets a touchdown or two. So I'm going with C-Rod as my MVP with the inspiration of Amani.
I'm going to go 42-17 Washington.
Okay, 40 spot.
I think they're gonna put up a 40 burger on these boys, bro. I also think this is the case. Like I have this feeling, and like from a betting standpoint, like I followed this and I've never really like laid it cognizantly. Washington has this thing, bro, where like their road favors or small road favors or small dogs on the road, like, and they just win outright, like cover the number by a large margin. The Arizona game, I think they was like 2.5-point underdogs. Whooped them boys 42-17. When they was at home, they had the Carolina Panthers -9. Those are one of the earlier games where you're like, this may be one of the trap ones. We're not too sure. We knew about Chuba. Not everybody said that, but like there was rumblings out there and it was concerned. Blew the doors off them boys. Same thing with the Browns. That was the one that people really thought was a trap game, or possibly for a trap game because it was so early. Blew the doors off them boys. They're 6.5-point favorites against the Dallas Cowboys right now. And I think them meaning Jaden in that offense, playing the Dallas Cowboys again. I think I told you, Dre, one of these episodes, bro. Jaden is not the person. You can't. You give him the test 2 times in one season, bro. He gonna ace the test the second time if he failed that first time, bro. So 42-17, I guess is what I said. 41-17, 42. I was just 42-17. I think the MVP will be. I'm not gonna go Jaden. I'll give somebody else, and I'm gonna say Terry.
I thought you was gonna say the superstar Brian Robinson Jr.
Nah, he ain't my superstar, bro. It's only I told y'all who my superstar is, bro. He on the Jets right now. Big Phil, yeah, Big Phil, bro. Yeah, that's it. B Rob just the guy I fuck with. He should have had 1,000 yards this year if he ain't kept getting hurt.
I'm about to say the Jets must be about to hire Ron Rivera. They got your boy Fidarian and Jamin Davis over there.
They got Jamin Davis. They interviewed Ron. That was so weird, bro.
Ron pulling strings already.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. All right, so let's see who we got. Let's see everybody in the chat. I see y'all with your MVPs. All right, where we at? Amani, 27-10 Washington. C-Rod, the MVP. Christian Rodriguez. Coley, 33-6. K-Friend, 40-7 Washington. Damn, just 7 points for the guys. 30-17. It is what it is. Yeah, 30-17. High speed. Jay Tizzy, 42-13. Jarrell, what up, player? 31-17. Jay Tizzy says JD breaks Cam's rookie yardage record, and Terry hits his TDs, and JD gets 1K rushing. He got to get like 130, right?
I think so. It's a big number.
It's
not a small number. I don't think he's gonna play that much. I don't think he's gonna run that much to get that.
864. So yeah, he got to get over 130. Yeah. Crowder MVP, JD MVP. And high speed finish, but I love how Jaden learns from his mistakes real time. We can see it week in and week out. That's one thing that Marcus Mariota spoke about too. And I'll close out with that. He had mentioned, fellas, that what did he say? Teams are throwing unscouted looks and other stuff at Jaden Daniels, and he's figuring a lot of things out. And he said that some of the slower starts can be attributed to that. But he said week in and week out, we don't really get what's on tape. But they get a lot of unscouted looks because of how well he's been playing. It takes him a few series to figure things out, but JD is figuring that shit out. That's the makings of a person who really just he got that shit on lock, bro.
Well, look, we know what we doing when we end this show. I mean, I know it's some football on. You at the bowl game, Duke and Ole Miss, but they put out JD's mic'd up that I'm gonna be watching.
Oh, they did.
They put it out, so I'm about to watch that as soon as we get off here.
Yeah, I'm about to tap into that now too, bro. We picked the right bowl game with the Georgia and Notre Dame jump to do the show, bro. Because damn, bro, that zone. I should have just took Notre Dame, bro. I got in my you smart man. I got in my head, and I was like, yeah, Georgia ain't gonna fuck around, bro, and they fucked around.
Hey. Yeah,
and I had Notre Dame on a parlay, the no sweat joint. I had them on a parlay, a 4-leg parlay, bro. The over in the Arizona State game hit. Ohio State beat the shit out of Oregon. And Notre Dame covered. And the one thing that lost, I had the under in the Ohio State game, bro. And Ohio State blew the doors off these guys, bro. So I almost
got that in the first half.
Bro, luckily enough. So I mean, the wildest thing is like they got out to such a fast start. They end up scoring like 62 total points. The under was at 55.5. So I lost by a touchdown after all of that. But still, to the point, like lost by one leg, bro.
Well, bro, to your point, in the Arizona State Texas game, I had the under, but the motherfuckers went to overtime.
Yes, you needed somebody to hit that field goal.
Oh, man, that was crazy. I said, damn, it was looking good all game too. Then they went to overtime and smashed the over.
That mic'd up is on their Commanders YouTube, so go ahead and take a look at that. I'm about to tap into it, just like Dre said he's about to. But y'all take it easy. Again, Commanders Morning Show is on tomorrow. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And the fellas will be back on Sunday for the post game recap. We're about to here. Peace.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Damn, set, watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Die.